That was a bit fiddly. I think I'm here now. So first of all, I'll tell you why I'm recording and not doing it live. A friend of mine has badly hurt his knee and he's in hospital. We had to go into hospital 3 or 4 days ago, and he's in hospital again today at the knee clinic, and they're sorting out what they need to do for him. And it could be all sorts of arthritic things, which are not very pleasant. So he'll need to be picked up later this afternoon. And that's really put all the ideas of going live out for the moment. So I'm recording this because there's no reason why not. We can do this. So, Wassail, be of good health. That's what it means in Saxon. And it occurs on 12th night, which is the 12th day after sun return, December the 25th. And we spent those days in between the 25th and today, each day considering the month that's coming. So the 27th is January, sorry, the 26th is January, the 27th is February. And I have a friend I thought might be familiar with me. I don't know whether she's staying, so we may suddenly have to let her out. This is Karen Cat. And so on, we spend a day with each month. As I said, 26th January, 27th February, 28th March, etc. So we're back at the end of the year again on the 12th night. We're back at December next year. And I hope you've asked your familiar spirits to come in. She decided she wanted to come in and be with me tonight. And it's very much about familiar spirits, even if I'm getting tailed. Never work with children or animals, as you know, but she may decide to go out in a minute. But she needs to be in good health. And all of Earth needs to be in good health too. And that's very much what our Wassail tradition is about. It's particularly amongst the cider making places in the country, which is basically mid to southern England. We make a bit of cider in Shropshire, much more in Herefordshire. And then it's sort of like Herefordshire along the country and down. And apples grow particularly well in the western, southwestern part of our country. So wassailing is very much that part of the country. And that's where I was born and brought up, of course, because I was born on Dartmoor, grew up on Exmoor. So wassailing is about apples. It's about be of good health. And we celebrate it particularly with apples, with the apple tree. And there's so many stories and legends that have apple trees as their beginning or as part of them, as a world tree, as a holder of magic, as a giver of rebirth and revitalization. And that's very much what the Wassail is about. And we begin it on the day, usually by gathering together. And I would like to do that tonight, but I can't. Gathering together, usually at a pub, in fact, almost certainly at a pub, but can be at somebody's farmhouse as well. And we go to an orchard nearby, and we're carrying fire. We all carry fire on a pole, a torch. And we go to the orchard, and the old orchards, the ones that I know, in fact, every orchard does, but the ones that I know, there is an old apple tree. There is the queen apple tree, the goddess apple tree, the one who is holding the center of that orchard. And around her, we build 13 fires, or they're already built for us because we no longer do it that way. We did when I was growing up, but not now, very rarely now, unless you're part of the side. So we build 13 fires. Now let's see if I can show you this. Let's do a bit of share screening if I can. Yeah, here we go. This should share. There you are. And that's one I went to in Herefordshire quite a long time ago. And let's have a little count around here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 fires. It's usually 13, so I don't know why it's 11 there, unless we're missing one. But we have fires as a ring all round. And as you can see, we all gather round in the fires. There's more of us back here. I was back here, obviously, because I'm taking the photograph. And there is the Queen Apple Tree that we are celebrating. And I don't know if I can do this. I think I can. Let's try. Now look at this. This was the old tree, and here she is. And what's all this? What's all this on her? It's toast. I know, it sounds completely mad, but we actually decorate the apple tree with toast. What is toast? Toast is bread. And bread is one of our staples. So we have bread and drink. And so we gift her the toast, which is the cooked bread, the burnt bread. And we've also dipped it in cider, probably the cider punch that we're all going to drink later. And we decorate this, we decorate her with this around us. Now, I am going to have to let my familiar out. So would you excuse me for 2 minutes? Come on. Come on. Out you come. Come on. Get out of the room. It's in the back. Yeah. Well, there we go. She didn't want to stay. Never mind. So there I was with the Queen Apple Tree decorated in toast and being toasted by one of the leaders of the side, the Morris side. And he's calling, Wassail, Wassail, be of good health, be of good health, be of good health tree. We all call it out with him. And we're asking that the tree have good health. We're also asking that we have good health. And we're asking that the tree, through the good health, through the queen tree, through the goddess tree, is able to make the orchard and all the surrounds of her good too. Now imagine when we used to do this a lot, which we did actually when I was growing up, which was in the 50s. So these orchards, they're full of this energy that we've sung and danced up. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. And the energy reaches out through the orchards, yeah? And then it coming from another orchard to us, and we're going out to other orchards from ourselves. So it's like a net, it's like a web that we're building by doing this wassail. Our group is connecting with next door, which is connecting with next door, which is connecting with next door. So it's a real connective web that we're doing, linking up with all the other peoples around us, all the other groups, orchards, villages. And there's a big feel of that when you go. I mean, this must have been, 6, 7 years ago. And the feel amongst all the people, we knew we were there for more than just having a good time and a party. We knew we were there because we were celebrating the tree. We were celebrating Mother Nature. We were celebrating Mother Earth. And the apple tree in this ceremony holds the goddess energy for us. And she's at the center of our ring, and we ring around her, we fire around her, we sing around her, and not all of us, not all these people here, but the Morris side dance around her as well. So she is sung and danced and fired and loved. And because of all these people coming together, and they're happy and they're joyful and they're wanting it to be good, they're wanting Mother Earth to be good. Even if they don't know very much about it, that joyful, wanting and loving feeling is there. And that spreads out into a web of all the other places all around. So can I actually move this on? No, we'll have to do stop share. So where are we for a minute? Yeah, the other side of that, because we've talked about the queen tree, the queen of the orchard, but the other side of that is the green man. And the green man is like the goddess's husband, guardian, very much her guardian. So let's see if we can screen share that for you. Let's go back in. And this was some other people that I know who are very, very good. And we will go to, if I can. So clumsy, I'm being clumsy today. Yes, here we go, the green man. Jolly looking chap, beautiful. And we actually had snow that time. And in this one, instead of the fires around, we have a big central fire here. And he's holding up his Wassail cup, which is cider. And he's drinking to the goddess. And he's in the rags. And he's got the stang. Now that stick is really important. It's called a stang. And I've got one. And it is 2 horns on the end of a stick. I mean, it's where the branch has divided. And they're very important. They're very much part of our tradition again, because that is the antlers. And the green man in other of his guises is the antlered god as well, who is the guardian of the goddess, of course. And very often our goddess also has antlers, as in Ellen of the Ways. Not always, but she very often does. So the green man is her guardian. So we celebrate with him, and some sides, not the first one that I showed you, but this one, some sides actually have him there, have someone dressed up as the green man who does the part for us. Who is the green man? He's the lord of the forest. You find him everywhere, all cultures, all around the world. And he doesn't always look the same, of course. They don't. But it's always recognizable. The role is similar. He's the lord of the forest, the lord of the woods, the life. One of our famous stories, he's the Holly Man in Gawain and the Green Knight. Yes, the Holly Man is the green man in another phase, in another guise rather. And he's sometimes called Savage around here, around Shropshire, where I actually live, is a very famous one, which is Wild Edric. And he's Edric Sauvage sometimes. And Sauvage or Savage is Old French, and it means wild, untamed, strange, not of this earth in that sense, not only human, maybe partly human, but not only human. And sauvage, from which we get savage, comes from the Latin word silvatica, silvaticus, which again mean wild. And they mean literally of the woods again. So green man is lord of the woods, lord of the forest. And the woods bit comes from silva and sylvan, which mean forest or grove. That also, you know, it's associated with the word pagan. It's very close. The word pagan comes again from the Latin paganus, and it means of the land. So we pagans are of the land. That's what we are. And the green man is of the woods. And the woods are part of the land, and the land is part of the woods. So we're all together on that one. It's very much part of it. As I said, you find the green man all over the place. And one of the ones which is not so well known, but one of the ones that he is he's actually Merlin. Merlin takes on this role in some of the stories, especially when he's in forests in Brittany, Broceliande. And there he becomes wild man, but also when he's up in the Caledonian forest and he literally runs and lives with the pigs and the apples. And he is there, the wild man of the woods. And the apples is important too, because the pigs eat the apples and they show him where to eat the apples. And he's very much associated with apples. So again, the green man may hold Merlin within him as well. Merlin may hold, or does hold, the green man within him. So we're connecting through our various stories in the different ways. Another one in this country is Custennin. And you find him particularly in the story of Culhwch and Olwen, which is a very good story. Recommend it. I've done a version, so you can look that up sometime. Culhwch and Olwen meet, or Culhwch meets Custennin, and he meets him as a giant sat on a hill surrounded by all the animals. So the Lord of the Woods is also one of the lords of the animals. He's the lord of the animals in a different face. There is Custennin, the giant, sat on the hill, surrounded by all the animals of the forest. And he does some riddling stuff in Culhwch and Olwen, which is very good, which helps Culhwch to actually find and meet and win Olwen. And Custennin's able to do that because he's actually the brother of Olwen's father, who's Ysbyddaden, who's another giant, a one-eyed giant. No, yeah, he's a one-eyed giant. And Culhwch must win her from him through lots and lots of tests, which he does in the story. We also call him the Woodwoes, and that's Saxon again, from Woodwussa, which I don't suppose I pronounced correctly, but I'm not very good at Saxon. Woodwussa, which actually is making me giggle, but don't worry. But anyway, we call him the Woodwoes. And again, he's the Lord of the Woods. And one of my other places that I love to go is down in further than southern France into the Basque country. And they have him there, of course. And there he's called the Basajon. And he is again a huge, often hairy man who lives in caves and is the Lord of the Woods. He protects the animals. He protects those who live off the land, like the shepherds. And he will tell you when there's a storm or a tempest coming, or any other danger. But I said we'd got one here. I did. And we do. I started to talk about Wild Edric. Wild Edric was a real man, and he fought the Normans, and he damn nearly won too. And I think, if I remember the story rightly, William the Conqueror had to bring in extra men in order to bring him down at all. But he didn't kill Edric. And Edric sort of went over to the other side, or agreed to various things that he lived there. And some of the story says that he was punished for that, and imprisoned in mines under the sniper stones. But some of the other stories are even more interesting. You see, Edric was a Saxon lord. His name tells you that. And when he was out in the woods, just down by Clun, actually, there he was out hunting in the woods, and he came across this glade. And as he was coming close to it up the path, he heard singing and music, and it was beautiful. And so he went into the glade and he dismounted from his horse and he crossed over, because in the middle of the glade was this house, this place, this wooden hall. And the music was coming from there. So he went and looked through the windows, and inside saw these beautiful women all dancing. And one of them, I think at that time they were actually dancing around her, was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. And he was completely heartstruck. We call it elf shot. He was like, she's for me. I'm for her. That's my woman. I am her man. Well, as you can guess, she was a fairy. She was a fairy queen. So, you don't just sort of ride off with her like that. Except he did. He managed to get in. The other women there, her sisters, clawing him and fighting him and trying to stop him, and he got quite a bit damaged, but he managed to get her, and he put her up on his horse in front of him, and he galloped off home. And his home was about sort of 10 miles from me now, going south. Anyway, he gallops off home and he takes her home, and she won't speak. She doesn't speak. She doesn't fight him. And she's watching him all the time. She's watching him. Who are you? What do you like? And for 3 days, she won't speak or eat or drink. And he's very kind to her. He doesn't force her. He's not a nasty man. And he doesn't beat her up, and he doesn't threaten her in any way. He just says, I love you. I'm completely elf-shot by you. I want to be with you for the rest of my life. So she listens to this. She watches him for 3 days, and then she speaks. And she tells him, I've watched you, yes. You seem to be a good man, yes. I will stay with you, but, and of course this is so with fairy stories, but there are conditions. Never, ever must you disparage my sisters or me or threaten us in any way. And if you do, I will be gone and you will never see me again. He promises, and he means it too. He's not just messing about. And so they live together, he and his fairy queen, until something happens, as it always does. And he's angry, and he shouts at her and says something about, your damn sisters who clawed at me. And he realizes what he's done. And he absolutely grovels. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And she's just fading. It's like one of those science fiction things, where she just fades back into a point of light. And she's gone. And his heart is broken, of course. So what happens to him after that? Well, there are all sorts of versions, again, as they usually are with fairy stories. Some say that he actually gets her back. But others say that he takes up with Gwynapnuth. Now, Gwynapnuth lives around my area too. And he lives everywhere, but he's got a special place just over that way from me. In fact, from my front door, I can see his hill and his cave on the Caradoc. And that is one of Gwyn's places. Now, Gwynapnuth is the antlered god. And he rides a white mare, and he has a pack of hounds who have red ears and red eyes, and of course red tongues. And they do hunt, but they don't hunt normal quarry. Sometimes they hunt something that is evil, and they can actually get rid of it. They can actually chase it out of our universe completely. But more often, he's a kindly shepherd. He's one who helps those who wish to go and those who need to go across the river from one life into the resting place of other world before they incarnate again. So you will hear his hounds and maybe even see them. And they're hunting lost souls. And they gather up the lost souls and they take them down to the riverbank to where another of his brothers holds the ferry boat. They load them on the ferry boat and they're taken across. And I've got another story about that. I'll put up my stories gradually. In fact, I'll even tell them to you, I think, over the coming year. So Edric takes up with Gwyn. And sometimes he rides with Gwyn. In fact, quite often. You have to do something when your heart has been broken by the fairy queen. And part of it is to be useful. And so he rides with Gwyn. And he collects lost souls. And he warns of danger, as the Bazajon, remember, warns. And there are many legends around here, even that he warned about World War II happening as recent as that. So he is partly, although he was incarnate as a Saxon lord who did his best to stop us becoming Normanized, but he's also fair. He's fair folk as well, through marrying the fairy queen. And so he works with the fair, he works with Gwyneth. So these are some of the green men. And I think it's important to remember them. And why do I think that? Well, all of us love the goddess. That's why we're here. That's why you've joined me tonight. You have a real feel for the goddess. And we want to help. You want to give good health. You want Mother Earth to be of good health, to Wassail. Yeah? Okay. So Gwyn, Edric, the Green Man, all of these, they are the guardians of the goddess. Unlike modern history and modern thoughts, the old ways are not patriarchal. They have both man and woman, male and female, goddess and god, but the two are not unequal. The goddess is not the servant of the god by any manner of means. If anything, it's the other way around. But the goddess, like in very old traditions, the goddess is the cup. Oh, I got a cup. Yeah. The goddess is the cup, the womb, the holder, the place where creation grows and forms. That needs to be guarded. And in the old witch ways, we have the cup, but we have the guardian as the knife, the Wassail. This is actually a very special one. It was made for me by a friend. That blade, see the light on it? That blade is obsidian. And the handle is antler, red deer antler. So it's very special. Now, what is obsidian? You may know. Obsidian is volcanic glass. It's what happens when volcanoes blow up. And part of what they give out is molten glass. And then that solidifies and becomes obsidian. You actually make it by knapping it like flint. So you have the cup, and the knife. You have the holder and the guardian of the holder. So you have the goddess, the queen apple tree. And you have, we can go back to that again. And do a little bit of sharing. No, we're on the share. We have the green man. Okay. Let's go and get to big screen. So we have the green man. Let's look at him again. And there he is. And can we go to the next one? No, we can't. Don't think. Yes, we can. Yeah, and he's dancing. See? Dancing around the fire. Dancing for the queen apple tree. I am your guardian. I can look after you. I will look after you. Okay. And we'll stop share there. Go back to that in a minute. So why is the green man important for us? Because each of us is the green man. We can be the guardian of the goddess. And it doesn't matter whether you're woman or man, what your gender is, or your orientation, it doesn't matter at all. What matters is that you are human who cares about the goddess. And being human and caring about Mother Earth, about the goddess, about Queen Apple Tree, means that you will guard her, you will be her guardian. And that's what's important. That's part of what being the green man is. So this celebration tonight, and I know it's going on some places tonight, is about celebrating all of that. And we do it in lots and lots of ways. We'll go to, let's go with this one first. Here we are. Here is the Queen Apple Tree. Now, isn't that beautiful? She's still holding apples. And yes, I've got apple trees that hold apples that long into the year. And if I go back this way, no, quick flip. We teach our children to do it too. You see? You saw Bar just now, I think. Let's ditz about here quickly. Please toast the trees. Help yourself to some toast and then place it into the branches of the trees to encourage the birds. And the presence of the birds will encourage the insects, and the insects will help fertilize the blossom and make more apples. That's why we do it. We're helping. We're being useful. We're helping the earth through the Queen Apple Tree. And that's what guardians do, of course, they help. And as I said, we teach the kiddies to do it too. Admittedly, some of them, let's get back to that one again. Some of them decide to eat the toast. You always get one, don't you? But I'm sure she did actually put some toast on the tree as well. But we teach our kiddies other ways of doing this too. Let's move on through this. I don't have that one. Don't have that. Not back again. This is another way. This is a young lady who is the goddess representative of the Queen Apple Tree. She is the lady of the Queen Apple Tree. And she's going up with her fork. Let's get a little bit there. She's going up with her fork and she's going to climb all the way up there. And then she's going to pass the fork down. Whoops, back again. She's going to pass the fork down. And one of the men will put a piece of toast on the fork and she will put it into the apple tree. Now, when they do this, when we have this, the Queen of the Apple Tree, very often when I said there was dancing afterwards, the dancing, she will be carried round on the shoulders as the Morris side. As this is our queen, this is our queen, this is who we're guarding, this is what it's about, this is what it's all about. And it's really lovely when that's done. And I've met some of the girls who've been Queen Apple, and they say it's quite thrilling and it really moves them. You sort of think, oh, I'm just dressing them up, I'm just playing about. And then you're doing it, and you're not just dressing up, you're not just playing about. You mean it. You suddenly feel all the energy comes up from the ground, from the apple tree, from the branches around you, and from all the people who are there as well, who are all willing it and wishing it and wanting it. And you feel the moment. We don't have enough moments like that nowadays in our lives. It's all, oh, it's silly old superstition. Oh, you know, I'll look a fool if I do that. No, we need these. These are important. These will actually help us to do our own little piece of rewilding our hearts and of rewilding whatever land we touch. Maybe our own garden, maybe through the gardens at work, wherever we work. It may be the open space in the middle of, say, the council estate that we live in, or whatever. All of these places we can help. All of these places we can help rewild. And it's getting this feeling that this lovely lassie is going to have. It's probably already got as she climbs the tree. So I said we sing and we dance. This is one of my favourite sides, who I would be with tonight if only I could. This is Leominster Morris, and they do a brilliant wassail, and they do a brilliant mummers play afterwards. And they're good dancers and they're good fun. And it's all about being good fun. And they really enjoy it, and they really like it. We're back to that one again. Oops. Need to do a stop share for a minute. So, what are we doing with all that? How are you feeling? Green men are everywhere. One of the best places to find them is actually in Christian churches, because the old stone carvers put them there. And I've been in lots and lots of churches, and you see these faces with the mouth spouting oak leaves. And it's not just stone carving either. I've been in several churches and cathedrals where they actually have them wood carved into the stalls, usually up in the choir. And it's really lovely because we kept them, we held them, we kept them with us. And they're still there. And they are the green man, and they're holding that energy hidden in plain sight, if you like, where you'd think they wouldn't be, but they are. So a little bit more about the actual wassail side. As I said, it begins at a watering hole, as we call it, where everybody gets torches, and quite often there's a couple of hundred people there who go. It's that big. And then the Morris side leads them out into the orchard, and toast is passed around, and toast is placed in the fork of the tree and hung around the tree, as we've seen, or stuck onto the branches. And then the orchard is sprinkled with cider, particularly around the roots of the tree. So we give back. We've got cider. She's given us apples and cider for us. So we give it back to her and say thank you. And that's another big thing. You know, we take, but we give back. And that's something we need to get. And then the Herefordshire side, and I think several other sides do it, they light the lantern. And this is a beribboned, can't say anything today, beribboned thorn cage stuffed with straw on a pole. and it represents the sun reborn. So 12 days after sun return, we actually celebrate it again because we've come round. Remember that 12th night is December of next year. It's holding the energy of it. So we've come back and we now say, be reborn again. We light the lantern, we set fire to the straw in the thorn cage, and the sun is reborn. And then for us, and this is where I was taking it, we're in this ring of 12 fires, or sometimes 13 fires. Now it depends where you go. For me, the 13 fires was all about the moons, the 13 moons. And this is why there are 13 fires. But the more Christianized version is that it's the Judas fire, i.e. the traitor fire, so you stamp it out. But no, the old ways, and this is where I was brought up, on the edge of Exmoor and on Dartmoor, no, the 13 fires were the 13 moons, which is the old year we used to fire, not the calendar year, which is so bloody modern. I mean, it's Roman. And we followed moons because, of course, they're very obvious. So we would take Queen Apple through the 13 moons. And then the song is sung. Now, I'm sorry, I can't sing, at least I don't think I can. The song is, Wassail, wassail all over the town. Our toast it is white and our ale it is brown. Our bowl it is made of the white maple tree. With a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee. And we go through lots of verses through it. So, here's to our horse and to his right ear. God send our master a happy new year. A happy new year as e'er he did see. And my wassailing bowl I drink to thee. So here is to Cherry and his right cheek. Pray God send our master a good piece of beef, and a good piece of beef that we may all see. With a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee. And here's to our mare and to her right eye. God send our mistress a good Christmas pie. A good Christmas pie as e'er I did see. With my wassailing bowl I drink to thee. So here's to Broad Mary and to her broad horn. May God send our master a good crop of corn, and a good crop of corn that we may all see. With a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee. And here's to our cow and to her long tail. God send our master may never us fail. Of a cup of good beer, I pray you draw near, and our jolly wassail, it's then you shall hear. Come, butler, come fill us a bowl of the best, and we hope that your soul in heaven may rest. But if you do draw us a bowl of the small, then down shall go butler and bowl and all. And then here's to the maid in the lily white smock, who tripped to the door and slipped back the lock, who tripped to the door and pulled back the pin, for to let all these jolly wassailers come in. So it's rather fun, and I think I did slightly better than I thought I would manage to do. But that's the old wassail song. That's the one that we all sang and still do sing. The carol is a Christmas carol and is much later. That's very old. And you can translate it back, you know, back into Saxon times, back into Iron Age times probably, and so on, Bronze Age and Copper Age, and going backwards. There will always be those people who we respect, and sometimes who we don't. So that was the song. And so what else have we got here for us? Well, there's the Mummers Play. And I don't know whether you've ever seen a Mummers Play, but they're idiotic and fun. Well, they're not. They are, and they're not. And they're full of characters. I mean, the ones that I know were Father Christmas, Beelzebub, St. George, a valiant soldier, a Turkish knight, a doctor, and often a dragon. I usually played the doctor. And they're about fighting, obviously because of St. George. And what else are they about? They're about who you are and what you are and how you do this, how you do your life. And they're also the fact that everybody comes back again, because needless to say, of course, St. George manages to bump off the valiant soldier and the Turkish knight and the dragon, usually, if there's a dragon. And it gets a bit much. And Father Christmas, who sort of plays the overall guardian, he ends up saying, St. George sort of says, "Again my challenge I do sound, who should come forth within the round, I'll see him cold upon the ground." And Father Christmas goes, "Slay no more, St. George, please stay thy hand. Is there a doctor to be found to raise these dead men from the ground and have them stand, to save them from Beelzebub in good Queen Bess's land?" So you can tell when this was written, Elizabeth the first time. It's interesting, we've got a good Queen Bess now. But Father Christmas is like, no, rebirth, bring them back. The doctor stuff is quite fun. This is why I rather like being the doctor. Father Christmas is called, and so there I am. I go, "Oh yes, there is a doctor to be found to raise these dead men from the ground and have them stand and save them from Beelzebub in good Queen Bess's land." And Father Christmas goes, "What canst thou cure?" So I go, "I can cure the itch and the stitch and the palsy and the gout, pains within and pains without. And if there's a devil within, I'll soon have him without." As you can see, he's rather a laugh, which is why I like playing him. So Father Christmas asked me where I learned these things. So I go, "O'er the hills and o'er the main, Flanders, Portugal and Spain, and to Brownsea Island and back again. I have plaster and potions, poisons and pills, some to cure and some to kill. A broken leg and arm, I can soothe that pain. And if you break your neck, I'll soon set it stout again. Bring me an old woman, 80 years and 10, without a tooth in her head, and I'll bring her young again. I can cure your wife of a headache." Everybody laughs, of course. "And your husband of a bellyache." More laughter. "I can cure anything conceivable, and my fees are very reasonable." Yeah, you sort of get, I like it. So anyway, I do. The doctor cures. And he says, Father Christmas says, "Try your skill." So I says, "I have this little bottle of Ellen Campaign. Just one drop for these dead men will give them life again." So you go and drop, 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 which is really fun. And George, we have to put George down again. George is a pain in the butt. George shouts, "Arise, arise, you cowardly dogs. See how upright you can stand. I'll send you villains upon your knees back to your native lands." He's not a nice bloke, George. Let's face it. So everybody's sort of reasonably, not too horribly argumentative at this point. And again, Father Christmas comes in, and again, he's calling for peace. "Enough, enough, please fight no more. I bid you make your peace. Fill your hearts with Christmas cheer, and all your quarrels cease. Lay down your swords, take up a glass. Let the toast go free. May all men now as brothers stand, and drink health to the company." And we do. Everybody does. And it's lovely. There's a daft silly song which the audience all joins in as well. "Christmas comes but once a year, but when it comes it brings good cheer. Roast beef, plum pudding and mince pies. Who likes all these things better than I?" Yeah, it's daft. But again, you get this thing again. May all men now as brothers stand, and drink to the health of the company. And that is again a part of what this evening, today, this 12th night, is about. And that's so much what it is for me. And when we've done that, when the thing's gone, and everybody's you're there and you really feel it in, you know, in the car park outside the pub or wherever it's being enacted, then you do all go back in and you do all chatter and natter and drink, and there is a lot of loving feeling goes on, just friendly loving feeling between people. And that's so much what we need, isn't it, in the world at the moment? So much what we need. Let's have a little screen share again, because we've got some more stuff here which we can do. So we've done the toast, and we've done the fire, and we've done the kiddies, and this is some dancing that I did. This was down on the edge of Dartmoor. This is my other favourite Morris side, Beltane. And I didn't take this photograph, somebody else did, because I think I'm over here somewhere. But no, I'm probably in here somewhere. And it was a lovely pub, and they're a lovely side. And we did lots of dancing. Recommend, if you get the chance to see Beltane dance, go. You will love it. They're very wild, and they're very good fun. And we went back in the pub, and it was a really good sing, because they encourage everybody to join in. They've got some very good singers in the side and some good songs, but they keep asking you, if you've got a song, can you sing with us? And they even got me out there doing Martin said to his man, which is when I like Martin said to his man, man, Martin said to his man, who's a fool now, etc. That one. One of the verses is, I saw a maid milk a bull, fie, man, fie. I saw a maid milk a bull, who's a fool now? I saw a maid milk a bull, every bucket, every pull a bucket full. Thou hast well drunken man, who's a fool now? They got us all doing all these old songs, this old stuff, riddle songs often, and lovely ones as well. And some of the good voices in the side, they was brilliant. It was lovely. So we have that, and that was really fun. I'm missing it tonight. Maybe next year. There's our toast again. There's our tree, the green man, and the green man dancing, and the kiddies. Ah, yes, well, this is what we will drink. And I hope our friend's okay, that we'll all be able to get together tonight and have a bowl of punch and some supper together. At least we can do that, and then we'll probably have a sing just in the house here and do some drumming. But we've got to make sure and see how everybody is and whether it's all okay. But what is this recipe? What do you do? Well, it's good, and you can do it yourself. It's not too difficult. You want a couple of quarts of apple cider, that's 4 pints, 2 cups of orange juice, 2 cups of pineapple juice, if you like, not everyone does. Sugar, or I always use honey. I'll put half, one of those small pots of honey in, tip it in. And I think that goes much better than sugar. And I squeeze in a couple of lemons, just straight in, and then float lemons on the top. 12 whole cloves, they really do need those, and a couple of cinnamon sticks, and you really do need those with the cider because it really works. And orange slices, lemon slices, as I said. And I put cranberries in if I can get them as well, but you don't have to. So you put all that in a big pot. I'll try and put this recipe up in the comments after the show. And you put it all in a big pot and just bring it to the boil, but take it straight down again. Don't let it boil for a minute. Just when it starts to bubble, then take it right down and simmer uncovered for 10 or 15 minutes. And you need to fish the cinnamon and the cloves out then, because you don't want those in when you're actually serving it. And garnish it with the slices of orange and lemon and cranberries, and serve it warm. And when we're out on these wassails, they've got these huge great cauldrons of it, and they bring it round, and you've all got usually a paper cup, which you get given at the beginning, and you get some. And it's wonderful because they're all drinking together, kiddies and all, everything. And it's not going to knock the kiddies out or anything horrible like that. And it's so lovely. You're drinking this beautiful warm drink that has come from the Queen apple tree that you've been celebrating and dancing and singing, and that the green man has been guardian to and been showing you how to be guardian to. And there you are, you're celebrating this. It really is lovely. And I really do recommend it. It's very good. So, where have we got to? Stop that share and actually start one more just to sort of finish. Because I was hoping to be live, so I was hoping that you would all come in with comments and everything like that, but you haven't been able to. So here we were. Here is our lovely Wassail punch. And this is the old days. It's an old picture of the old days. And you see, just pouring the cider on the ground. They put the toast in the trees and they're dancing and singing, and the animals are involved as well. And it's really lovely. Yeah, in a way it's kitsch, but it gives you the feel. Gives you the feel of the love. It gives you the feel of Wassail, be of good health. And that's what we really want to celebrate today. And we want to say, Mother Earth, Wassail, be of good health. And we want to say, yeah, I will do what the green man asks me. I will help. I will try and learn to become a guardian, to become the green man. Let's just go back to that if we can. And I should be able to, but I can't. I can. Yes. I think, yes. Go back. Let's be the green man. Let's celebrate Mother Apple Tree. And let's learn to keep the fire in her heart and keep the wildfire in our heart. And learn to be the guardian. Be the green man, the Lord of the forest, of our own little tiny forest, which may be only in our heart. Let's learn that. And then we can learn how to help Mother Earth. So I give you all Wassail, be of good health, and have a wonderful 2022. And if you want some more of this, just come and see me on the site, because I'll be doing webinars, free, and some courses which will cost a bit of money. But come and join me. Come and learn to be the green man. Come and learn to be the guardian in your way. So goodbye for now, and I'll see you again soon.